Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man, and we're looking at a Brother VX810. Real nice little machine, and this one had very little use, and it was just one of those deals that it got turned from a sewing machine into a pachinko machine. I don't know if you remember pachinko machines. Google it, look it up. But you drop the little deals in the top, and they ching, 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 and get your points. And they had them at arcades and things called pachinko. And this one became a pachinko machine when someone decided that they were going to remove the top to put a couple drops of oil in there, but they didn't know the procedure for taking the top off. And I caution folks, if you don't know where a screw goes or what the other side of the screw does, don't turn that screw. There's a lot of places down in here that there's some screws that lefty-loosey, righty-tighty doesn't work. It's lefty-tighty, righty-loosey, and you snap them clean off. Got to know some of this stuff. It's pretty basic, but if you're not sure, don't do it. If you're cranking down on a bolt and you're like, wow, this thing's really tight, but I think, and something snaps off, well, it was a righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. Oops, that's different. And with this one, it's just one of those curious things where the folks were going to take the top off to oil it, and there's two screws, one here and one here next to the thread. One there. See on the right-hand side there? But if you take those two, it won't come off. Oh my gosh, it will drive you crazy if you don't know the secret, which is over here on the right-hand side. You take these two screws off first, unplug the power cord. You take this off first, then the top lifts right off. If you try to take this off, if you try to do that without taking this off, you'll think, it must be this screw right here. Nope, it's not this screw here. That goes to your bobbin winder stop. And this is set up there so you can stop your bobbin while you're winding it. You know, it goes into the bobbin itself so you can set how much you want to wind. Half full, quarter full, all the way full. And you just loosen this screw up here. Just loosen it. When I say loosen it, just loosen it. And this rotate around and you tighten it back down. There's a lot of machines that way. Very few exceptions. Tons of them out there. Millions. You loosen the screw, you rotate it around, and you set this to how much depth you want thread on there. Full, all the way there, halfway, full, all the way around. But this, if you get carried away like this person did, and you take this screw off, or loosen it, loosen it, loosen it, loosen it, because you think, I'll just take, and you'll hear clink, you go, wow, what was that? That was the pachinko game. Because this little nut on the bottom, which you never want to have fall down in the machine, because it's a pain, you have to go down there and get it. Or if it becomes the jackpot winner pachinko machine, it'll fall all the way down into the machine, all the way to the bottom, and it'll end up in the motor. And it's a 1 in a million, because it's got to go all the way down and then hit something, ricochet off, and go through these holes and land right on the armature and wedge between the armature and the motor brush. Let me put a light on this, because this was the most amazing thing I've seen in a long time, and I've seen some stuff, all right? Right there. You see, that's where the bolt was. It wedged in there, and of course, they were standing on the gas pedal trying to get it to go. And it was humming, 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 won't go, humming. It was wedged. And what it did was it welded the bolt to the armature, and I mean, it fried it. Let me get you a close up of this. This is just something you got to see. This is a thing of beauty here. Just completely trashed this awesome little motor. You can see it hasn't had that much use. It's not a worn out motor, but it's kind of worse for wear and tear now. It looks like it's had a bolt welded to it. Yep, that's what happened. And of course, it trashed the motor. And now servicing this machine, they said they step on the gas and it won't go. I thought, well, it's got to be a foot control. These motors are bulletproof. I mean, these motors are absolutely bulletproof. They're not bolt-proof, as it turns out, when you win the pachinko game. These motors, they make the same motor for so many machines. I mean, they're just machine after machine that has this motor, it's got this motor, it's got this motor, and I have probably 100 more. Different types, mainly the difference is the bracket. See, it's got a bracket like this, 2 holes and one on the side to mount. This one's got it to the back. Usually Kenmore's like this, some Neckies, it mounts. And they built the machine around the motor, so it's got a real nice install. Here's one pretty custom. The bracket, the motor's almost identical the same. I mean, they are identical, interchangeable, but the bracket is what makes it fit in each particular machine. And this one had a bracket that was on, it wasn't bolted on, it would have been easier if it was bolted on, but it was riveted on to the cap of this one. So I took the cap off of a good motor, the cap end I took off, took the bracket off this one because it had to be fitting inside this machine. And we got it in there. It's like back in the days when we were taking 383 Mopars and putting them in 440s, vice versa, 340s and 318s, 327s and 283s back in the day when they made cars like they used to make motorcycles. So, you'd throw a motor in this one and the motor mounts all matched up, and maybe you have to make a little adaptation for an exhaust or, or this or that or the other thing. But that's the way it was with this. You get the brackets, you get the right bracket, you get the right motor, and you make it work. So this little guy right here, it's going to last probably as long as anybody needs it to, providing they don't get their screwdriver out and do something goofy like, wonder what this does. I've often thought, and I've thought, well, I'll go down to the legislature in Texas and have them introduce a law that says anybody who gets a screwdriver, one of these things are wicked. These are lethal. They can tear things up. Maybe have a 3-day waiting period. Maybe have a questionnaire, background check. Do you know what this is? Do you know what it can do? Do you know the absolute danger that can be wrought with a screwdriver with somebody who wonders what this does? So beware and take it easy. Be careful and know that sometimes when you go to take the top off, the side comes off first. Don't loosen that. Great little machine. It's got a good fractional horsepower motor, about a 6 horsepower. Very powerful. All the machines have them, except for the electronic ones. They have one about the size of a flashlight battery, and they run hot and they fail. These old guys here, these are like a tank. They are just awesome. Any of these old machines, these old brothers, the old Singers, the old New Homes and Universal stuff like that. Whites, the ones with the motors hanging on the back. Fantastic machines, fantastic motors. So if you have a mishap, you can replace the motor. It's not the end of the world. They're like, I don't know, $50 or less. The labor's usually more than the motor. So buyer beware, tool person, repair person, pseudo repair person, someone who thinks they can do things. Be careful. Taking them apart sometimes will get you in trouble. All right? Thanks.